Hello all, welcome back to One Pitch Catch. Coming to you after a weekend of quite a few interesting games. Certainly a lot of cricket. Not all may have been interesting, but Afghanistan have still not yet beaten India in any format in this tour. India beat Afghanistan 3-love in the ODIs. I'm saying it like a tennis score or something like that, but
Wimbledon's
3-0.
coming. Wimbledon's coming
Yeah,
up.
Wimbledon's coming. All the Sanju Samson, Rohan Bopanna promotions. So yeah, I mean, and the interesting thing is that Yashasvi Jaiswal scores 100, and he is not in the ODI squad that has been announced to go to England. Virat is in the like subject to fitness or something like that. And I think who somebody did Yashasvi only replace Virat
Yes,
for
Yashasvi
this
was
series?
he
Yes,
came in as a replacement for
correct.
Virat, which personally we had some queries about it because
Yeah,
Visha, if he is there, why bring him there? Somebody else like a Sanju
yeah,
Samson or a Ruturaj could have come, is what we felt. But I mean, Yashasvi Jaiswal has two ODI hundreds in just six
yeah.
games, Jaga. In just 6 games
I mean,
against
he's an
India.
all-format player, seems like, right? So
Yeah.
it's
So now, now since Virat has come back, there is no that tells a lot about India's batting riches, I would say.
yeah,
But still, I mean, I would consider Jaiswal extremely unlucky after scoring 100.
definitely.
But I mean, going away from Jaiswal,
Maybe
going
it's maybe it's just batting riches overall itself, right? And
overall,
especially
that
in this
I
format.
mean, going coming to the batting riches, Jaga, I think the ODI game itself, now this series, I mean, maybe yes, Afghanistan is not as powerful as an Australia
Yeah,
or England. You can always argue, but generally the ODI game has become more T20 kind of batting. See, what
yeah,
they did was the first game was a 25-over game where Afghanistan got about close to 200, which they should have got
yeah,
230, which they missed out. India got 400 in the second game. The third game, India chased about 230 in 28 overs.
yeah,
So it
correct.
looks like a very T20 batting to me, Jaga. What do
I
you
think
think
it's
of?
the influence. Yeah, I think it's the influence of T20 batting on ODIs, right? And we saw it like sometime if you go back to say the mid 2000s, early 2000s onwards, Australia especially, I think they were definitely doing it. They brought in a lot of the speed of ODI scoring into Test cricket. So I think it's kind of similar where ODI scoring and shot making was influencing Test cricket for some time, and now it was just a matter of time before we saw. Like I keep saying about how some players starting with the V and second name starting with the K play T20s like it's 40% of a ODI, and we touched upon it the last time. I think teams are now basically seeing the 50 over game as basically two and a half times a T20 game. So if you can score 200 in a T20 game and not be more than say three or four down, then there is no reason why you can't get to 450 plus on a consistent basis in ODIs. I think that's what they're seeing. But the challenge is going to be how does this play out in South Africa conditions? Like, I mean, Zimbabwe pitches tend to be a little bit on the slower side also, but at least they're not that fast bowling friendly. Namibia, we don't quite know. But in South Africa, when the World Cup happens next around like what October or November next year, that's going to be interesting. Like, I mean, you've practiced for a year and a half playing in conditions where the bat has a lot of an advantage. And then how do you cope with better bowling conditions? That's going to be interesting.
And more than that, I mean, yes, the World Cup is the big question here. But overall, what does this do to a bowler's mindset, Jaga? If the T20s, we always think the bowlers are not even they're just there to
Yeah,
deliver those 120 balls. I mean, you cannot
yeah, yeah.
have the bowlers are there just to deliver
300
300
balls.
balls, 300 balls in an ODI, right? So nobody, I mean, already we for the last 10, 15 years, we've been talking about nobody wants to be a bowler, nobody wants to be a
Yeah,
bowler. So when ODI is also get to the
yeah,
scoring rate of T20s, the bowler's mindset
yeah.
is very, very difficult, I feel. So that
Yeah.
was
Or
difficult.
they have
But
to pick up new tricks. I mean, different
this is
types
what
of slower
happens. But this
balls.
is what happens. Like Chappell's
Ah,
article on it's Vaibhav Suryavanshi has come out at the wrong. That's a very, very scary time. This is exactly
yeah,
what happened yesterday again with Vaibhav Suryavanshi. He
yeah.
got a list A 50
15,
of
11
11
balls.
balls. So, I mean, what did you? I mean, did you follow that match about the India Sri
Yeah, I
Lanka?
was following it for some time. This is madness, right? I mean, you don't expect 15-year-old to. I mean, first it is not. Yes, let's admit it's not at the international main national team level, but it's one level below. But a lot of the players involved have been in the international team, like Niroshan
Sri
Dikwela and a
Lanka,
few other Lankans,
especially from
and
Sri
even in
Lanka.
India's side, Ruturaj and some of those others have been at that level. So it's very close to national level, and at that level, yes, the pitches are different. Yes, maybe the bowling quality will obviously be different when he graduates to the national scene. Like we'll find out when he goes to Ireland and England, right? But I think it was just exciting. Now, the good thing about it is that he basically kept his mouth shut, which he did not, and he kept his hands to himself, importantly.
Hands, hands
So
to himself.
which he did not do in the last that first match against Sri Lanka where they lost in that super over. So it's good. I mean, it's good that people have spoken to him. Now, apparently, his parents are also there, so maybe he's getting that guidance, or maybe his parents are a lucky charm or something like that. So whatever, right? We just have to be glad that he was able to get his act together, and it could have got really ridiculous if he had kept batting, but somehow he seems to have a penchant for getting out in the 90s. Like in the IPL itself, I think he got out like twice in the 90s or something like that. So there is certainly something, some part of his game that he needs to work on. Like I remember I was thinking about it in the 2000, I think sometime around the 2003 to 5 time frame, Virendra Sehwag got like 190, and then I think there was that South Africa test, he got a 290 or something like that. And I
Which
was thinking, this guy's
was
got a problem in the
mm,
190s and 290s. Vaibhav was similar to that in this format. I mean, these formats that he has played. But
no, I think he just
what
has
should he
why
do to improve that?
he just has to have go talk to Virat Kohli. So that thing, I mean, he
On what
tells you
basis? Like,
because the next last 10 runs from 90 to 100 will take you bat for 20 balls, take 20, 10
oh,
singles.
okay.
That's enough. So he just has to talk to Virat Kohli to get that 90 thing getting into hundreds because it
Yeah,
will
don't score it in, don't try and score it in two balls or something like that.
throw away the team. If you have reached 90, get to the 100, and then
Yeah, yeah.
you can accelerate and forget about
Correct,
those
correct. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
forget about those
Obviously,
things.
we've seen that, right? And guys like KL help him also.
And especially with Vaibhav's acceleration, I mean, he can easily
Yeah,
accelerate.
yeah.
So he just has to talk to Virat Kohli to
Okay,
get it
good.
sorted.
And he'll have a
Uh,
lot of time, right? I mean, the England tour and Ireland tour is going to be there. So I'm sure he'll have a lot of time with him. So maybe
but
we'll see more hundreds going forward
I think,
and slower 90
but
plus scores.
I think the England and Ireland tour are T20s is what Vaibhav is selected, right?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that?
yeah. It's not the ODI side. So yeah, he won't get time with,
But
unless
Virat,
he's like tagging along or something like that.
but Virat lives there, so he can meet him.
Yeah, that's okay.
So and I mean, talking of England, England tour, did you watch the route led England losing the second test?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, I guess, waiting to happen. I think their batting ended at like 6 or 7 or something like that. It almost reminded me of some of the Indian teams of the past, where you pretty much none of the lower order can bat. Their bowling was also very weak, and it was not surprising at all.
Some of the
Now the
lower
thing
orders
is,
cannot. Some of the this English team, some of the lower orders people could not bowl. Also, Jaga, I felt.
oh, that's also that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They should have, but they did not. And it's like if you were a Henry, you basically had a good match. Basically, that's what it seemed like.
England, I mean, England missed picking a Henry for the game, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
So
they should
because
try and find that out.
so that was phenomenal. That Matt Henry making a five for and a six for, and
Yeah,
of course in between was Henry Nichols. Henry Nichols
Henry Nicole.
came in to replace Williamson, who's done a great job winning his.
Correct.
I mean, he's played tests before, winning his playing as Williamson's replacement at number three, and is
Yeah.
getting 100 in the second
So at
innings.
least New Zealand cricket will be like paisa வசூல் அவ்வளவு தூரம் ஃப்ளைட்ல கொண்டு வந்துட்டு சொதப்பினா இன்னும் எரிச்சல் வந்துரும்.
எனிவே ஒருத்தனுக்கு பைசா கூட்டு வேஸ்ட் வேன்
ஆமா.
வில்லியம்சன் அங்க கூட்டிட்டு போனது so Henry Nichols was good and I think this makes the third test at Nottingham interesting
Yeah.
especially with Ben Stokes and Atkinson also coming back. I don't know if
Like
ECB
what changed? Like did they express their disappointment or the apology or something like that? No, like I want to try and see what changed, right? If there's nothing that's changed, then why are they back?
no 1-0 became 1-1. I think that's the reason.
Oh.
So
Okay. You have to
so
win the third test, basically.
because I think this if England had won the second test
Ah,
I don't, I'm not sure, but the outcome could have been different. They may not have come back. Now the series is at stake. Already the way England has been losing test series left, right, and center, or not able to
WTC
win.
is always a challenge for them. Yeah.
Not able to win tests. Even against a weaker Indian team at
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
they didn't win the series. So, given that situation, they would want to win this series. So, that is the reason I think Atkinson and Ben Stokes are
Okay.
back in the squad. I see that ECB has given some written warnings and all. What does I don't understand how that changes written warnings.
Written warning, no, like, I don't know what's the big deal. Like, it's not like he's not got written warnings in the past.
If
And
you're an international team or player or a captain, you don't need written warnings. You know what you're supposed to do, what you're not
yeah,
supposed to do. It's very simple. In between, they can argue that he went and got a 95 at Durham, but again, his on-field contributions
yeah,
were
exactly.
never
It was
questioned.
not his.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
you could argue, like, I don't think he's been having a good time with the bat recently, but
It's true.
I think
But
it's an
nobody has
indication
spoken
of
about it,
how,
Jaga. Nobody. I
yeah,
think
no, nobody.
you and I
Ben
have
Stokes
only people talk about
சொல்லக்கூடாதுப்பா.
it.
Ben Stokes
and he also
சொல்லக்கூடாது.
and he always gets world's most unplayable deliveries.
Invariably, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always.
And I think Simon Dool only on commentary said that, right? Like, there's
It
nothing
was
wrong with that ball, right?
it
It
was just a
just pitched and
straight
hit
ball.
off.
He played off the
He
wrong
missed a
line. It
straight
was
ball.
just a straight ball. Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, so we'll round it up with the ongoing T20 World Cup for women. Yesterday was supposed to be a pretty key game. I guess, the fact that there are a bunch of other games coming up could help compared to like if this was basically a four-team group, then that makes it harder. So India did not quite manage to win against South Africa. I think the batting was just a big problem right from the start, right? I mean, you had an amazing power play, and then Smriti Mandana goes and plays like she goes to the offside and tries to flick onto the leg stump, and she got bowled, and I think that pretty much triggered it. And the interesting thing is that yesterday, for whatever reason, they kept putting one of the ads in which she's in for Kappa Energy, where she's practicing basically the same shot. Going over to off stump and trying to flick it past fine leg. And she must have practiced it so often during the shoot, and she didn't get it right when it really mattered. So, like, what's the point of all that practice for an ad? But I mean, I think the rest of the batting also didn't actually do well. South Africa bowled very well, nice plan, and they fielded very well as well. But yeah, even India dropped so many catches. Like, there were a couple of easy catches that went down, especially towards the end. Marizan Kapp hit one to long on, and Radha Yadav dropped it, like literally few balls after she had dropped a tougher one. So all of those basically hurt.
This game reminded me so much of the group game in the 50 over World Cup, Women's World Cup, where South Africa beat India.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there also it looked like India was going to win the game. Now, Kapp game came and scored a 81
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
unbeaten 81. At that time, it was
Nadim Clark.
D Clark who came and scored 84 unbeaten 84. In fact, I remember that game vividly. In fact, I almost gave up watching that game because
You,
India is going to win that.
yeah,
They
yeah,
were going to win in a canter. Suddenly, Tryon and Lee Clerk made it for them. So
yeah.
similar. I hope if that is similar, I hope the result also comes up
The
with
result
that
will
is
be simple. Yeah,
similar.
hopefully.
But I think it's going to be difficult now it's going to be either India or South Africa who can qualify for semi-final now, based on the
Yeah, I
coming
think the
games.
advantage is that India has a better net run rate. I think they had a
Right
plus
now,
two or
India
something like
has.
that. Yeah.
Right now, India has, but South Africa has to play a weaker team because South Africa has
And
already
India
played
has to still
Australia.
play Australia.
India has to play Australia. South Africa
Yeah,
has finished playing Australia. So
correct,
that's
correct.
that.
Yeah.
And South Africa lost by 65 runs to Australia. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what is
That was
hurting
bad.
them.
Yeah.
I hope India does well in that Australia game to qualify for the semis. So
Right.
let's
Yeah.
see how
Yeah,
it
let's see what
unfolds in the
happens.
weeks to
Other
come.
than that, like we said at the start, there's a lot of cricket that's happened over the last few days. We'll continue covering it in the next episode. Until then, please keep watching. Thanks and leave us your comments and your feedback. Bye.